98.9 Northwest FM. This is CarTorque with Matty J. Another Tuesday night. Welcome to the show. We just talk cars and a lot of crap every Tuesday night. So tonight I've got on the show. We've got a full house. We've got James from Established. What's going on, James?
Hey, how's it going?
And Mr. Grassman himself, Adam Grasso.
How you going?
And of course, one of our main regulars, Alan. What's going on, Alan?
Not too bad. I'm just too lazy to get up out of the chair, really.
Well, so we'll start off tonight with an update on the Merc, because that's what everyone's new favourite topic is on my crappy little show.
Have you given it a name yet? Like the Ethnic Mobile, or
I should totally give it a name because
Chapel Street,
the Chaplap King, I'll call it.
Yeah, I like it.
You like it? Well,
I'll leave it open to discussion and maybe come up with something.
Well, if you've got an idea, send us a text on 044777799. That's 044777799. Let us know what we should call the car.
I got one suggestion.
All right,
you know the Valiants are called what chariots?
Yeah.
What's it Merc called?
Arab chariot. Yeah.
Otto Bianchi's the Arab chariot.
Yeah. All right. Well, a quick update on it. So today I was at my local mechanic where the car's been sitting for the last 3 to 4 years. And I went there, and he's like, it's all good. And I'm like, what do you mean it's all good? He's like, go start it. He's put a brand new battery in it as well. So turned the key, jumped into life. It's got new plugs. It's got a bit of old stuff here, so it's a little bit of a miss here and there. But I gave it a good rev, and it still seems to be working. A couple of little niggly things with it, but once we got all that sorted, it'll be good. But the big news is tomorrow I will be picking it up. And it'll be coming home with me, hopefully. Once what that was. Was it like a big dong? Anyway, so it should be coming home with me tomorrow. Taking it to my other mechanic to get the roadworthy finalised and everything. And then it's all smooth sailing for the 260E. Are you guys excited? I'm excited.
The real question is, does it do skids?
Well, I haven't tried it yet. I don't know I think it's got an open diff, so it's probably just single peg.
Would you cruise in it?
Hell yeah, I'd cruise in it, man. If I'm going to do chap laps playing the Altanora.
Not just chap laps.
So the first mod is welding the diff, right?
Oh yeah, man. It's gonna just weld the diff, and I won't take it to the skids, but I'll do my own skids. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good fun. It's gonna be a car when I learn how to fix up and stuff. Today I found it's got a few niggly issues, which I'll get to. But once I get all that sorted, it should be a really nice cruiser. So,
are you gonna barrow it in the end?
Well, that is the plan in the future. Hopefully, hashtag barrow the world, which will be good because it'll really make it make a massive sleeper. But it'll be good once all the little niggly things are ironed out. Yeah. So things that I've got to iron out. The cluster, it stopped ticking. So everything works on it. It's just the speedometer. It's apparently a common fault with them, and it stopped ticking just before we took it off the road. So I have to look at getting a new one of those. I have to hit some German wreckers up. And then what was the other niggly issue it had? The aircon needs to be regassed, but that's no issue at all.
You don't need an aircon in an old car, man.
Oh mate, you know what? It just says the guy come from a Charger that's got nothing in general.
I don't know.
You don't need it.
The hottest march on record probably says otherwise.
Yeah.
So I prefer the aircon.
Oh yeah. Let's ask you, Adam. How are you putting up with no aircon in the Charger? You just don't drive it.
Windows go down, mate. Windows go down. You listen to the engine.
That's it. The
radio's not even on, man.
265 is all the radio you need, mate. All you need.
AM radio, bro.
AM. Well, the only thing it's got an AM radio. That's all. So it's not really that great. It's talkback. So. It's a bit how you going, but
it's a bit like this.
No, it's not that good. It's not that good, trust me.
On the 774.
No, it's just that the reception's not that great in that thing. So we'll leave it at that.
You know, you can get like the aftermarket ones that look factory like that.
Retro decks, like those retro decks. Yeah, they're pricey though.
I know they're pricey.
Jeez, they're like $500 a deck.
Jeez.
You rather buy like $100 deck, hide it in the dash, and bang, you got USB, you got it all, and it's on a.
Well, you can. Apparently, they make kits for your original deck as well to plug into the back of that, so you can still get some functionality
from the old ones.
From the old ones.
Yeah?
That's what I've heard. I don't know.
I haven't seen anything.
But even if you don't use it, I mean, you just have one in the glove box.
Worst case, you have the hidden one away with a remote control, and you have the old one there, the original one there, just for looks.
Yeah, that's it. And I reckon that'll work better, like with what you're going for.
Yeah, easy.
What about you, James? How's things on established kind of point of view? Because you said you were going to announce some things tonight.
So, established point of view, we have a dyno day coming up the 8th of April. Chase's Motorworks, $70 for 2 to 3 runs. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Some prizes and obviously showcasing some sponsors on the day. Other than that, there is a secret talk sort of thing going on. We are organising a drag day soon, so all you guys can come and drag.
That'll be sick. Were they organising that like Calder? They still
We still don't know, so we're going to have a meeting that's coming up in the next few weeks. So hopefully we're going to look at the Calder. Heathcote is a bit far, but we're going to look at maybe getting Calder. If we get the numbers, we get the people, I'm sure it'll be cost viable, and we can make it relatively cheap for everyone, so everyone can come down.
Yeah. Well, I know my brother, when I told him about the dyno day, he's interested. So
Awesome.
Might have to put him down to see what his turbo makes, because apparently, from the dyno sheets and everything, it's pushing 290 and 850 newton meters. But let's just see if any of that's legit. If you're listening, Luca, we're gonna find out the truth, mate. The dyno doesn't lie. The dyno does not lie, unless it's like a happy dyno and it's giving you like a bazillion kilowatts.
Chase's is pretty good. Chase's is pretty accurate, like for a roller dyno.
Yeah.
It's not a hub dyno
not a
or
hub
anything,
dyno.
but yeah. Hey man, nice. That's nice. Those
There's cufflinks.
the cufflinks, man, far out.
Temper cufflinks.
Do they
I wish you could like
blow into them?
blow into them, make them spool. But look, we'll go to a quick song now. We're going to go to a song by Jamiroquai. Now this song it's called Cosmic Girl. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the film clip to this, but he's like driving around in like a Lamborghini Diablo and like all sorts of like 90s like supercars.
If you remember it.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool film clip. Like it's super 90s, but it's pretty dope. So this is Cosmic Girl by Jamiroquai. Back on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is CarTorque with Matty J. There's a car that was announced last week, and it's a pretty incredible car. Tuning shop RUF or Roof or however you say it. They've brought back the Yellowbird. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Yellowbird is, back in the late 80s, though, the early 90s, I think it was the original one was.
After the 80s, yeah.
It was based on a Porsche Turbo. It was so insane. It was incredibly fast. And there's still a video of it on YouTube today of back in its time on the Nürburgring, and the guy's just going ham, like going crazy around all these corners. He's like taking it sideways. And that was in the original Yellowbird. Now RUF have like they kept it under wraps and never pretty much re-released it in this crazy form. And it's like that. It looks exactly like it, but obviously bigger wheels, more power. So what do you say, Jones? Had 500 and something kilowatts?
522 kilowatts.
That's insane.
880 newton meters of torque.
That is a lot of power.
It's a 3.6 flat six twin turbo.
So obviously it looks exactly like a Porsche, but that's because that's what they're based on anyway. Like they pretty much are a Porsche. So. You guys have just obviously seen it now. What is your take on it? Like, you think it's just? And by the way, it's still rear-wheel drive. It's insane.
I still remember driving him in Gran Turismo 2 or I think.
Yeah,
it was
they were in Gran
2.
Turismo. Yeah.
That was cool. They were cool cars.
My main question is, with 522 kilowatts and that much torque just to the rear wheels, how wide are the tyres? Because if you're expecting grip,
it's not going to happen.
They're running 305.30 on 19s.
305 is a big tire. But considering on the Typhoon I've got 245s, so that's that. And like I've got 550 newton meters. That's a big jump. Also, you got to take into account the engine's on the back wheels, man. So it's gonna really
100%. There's balanced weight on the rear. So
once you lift off, that's when you die.
That's when you die, pretty much.
Hypothetically.
You're going to get that front end bounce like Jeremy Clarkson talks about.
The big wang, will keep it down.
The big wang. But it's going to, it's 911s to me just defy logic because the engine being in the back, like that far back, it just shouldn't work. Like the balance, because you'd think it'd be so tail happy that it's insane, especially with that amount of power. And from what I've heard, all accounts of like rear-wheel drive 911s are very, very. They're either crazy taily or crazy nose like the nose is very light.
Do you want to trip out at the top speed of this thing?
Yeah, tell us.
370 k's an hour.
Jeez.
tested.
Well, I was reading they're like 3 and a bit seconds to 100, aren't they?
Yeah, 3.2 to 3.5.
And out of a real drive car, that's pretty crazy. Like GDRs are pulling 2.9, and they're all drive. So
running double wishbone suspension on all corners and high mount horizontal dampers at both ends.
So it's a pretty techy car.
They've even got center locked wheels too.
Jeez. Now the chassis, it's a carbon fiber monocoque, isn't it?
It's a carbon fiber, yeah. Basically a tub.
Yeah. So, because for those at home or wherever you are listening, this car looks exactly like how it did back in it's got the same body shape as
same as it looked 30 years ago.
Yeah, and it's how would you explain it? Very retro, but I reckon it looks dope. I reckon they were the best looking Porsches as well. Like the proportions were right. Now, if you go up to like a normal a Porsche these days, you just see them. Yeah, like you were looking at the picture now. It looks fat and it just looks tough. So
Imagine that with an RWB.
Oh, jeez.
Over fenders. Bit of work.
But see, everyone's doing that to those old air-cooled Porsches now. This is a water-cooled Porsche, though. There's a difference there because the original one was air-cooled. So this is completely different. But you know, this brings back the idea of I've seen a lot of people retro bodying cars. So, for example, I saw a GT500, a new one Mustang on an old GT500 body. They took the old body off, put the new body on. They put a Nissan GDR body on a Ford Mustang Mach 1. I've seen some old Chargers with the new Charger underpinnings. It's being done. It's getting quite common and quite popular. People like the retro thing with just the modern reliability. So
Suzuka with a 26.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of times it's the look that you really want as well.
Exactly right.
Over time, we've always improved. Most of the time, we've always improved on handling or acceleration, any other performance specification. So I don't think anyone was like, I'd like to go back to a day where I didn't have ABS and I could lock the brakes in an emergency and kill myself. But then again, there are some people that are all about that. But yeah, it's just who you are.
The thing is, and Paul says this to me all the time. He goes, he has a friend of his, 240Z. He's got the L28 in it with the turbocharger, and he has a RB26 trade engine ready to go to drop in.
Was it 260? So
240.
240. Okay, wow, yeah.
There's painted blue as well, like in.
It's yellow.
Midnight.
Midnight Z, yeah.
The Devil Z.
Basically, like Paul says it perfectly. People that are going to do it themselves, or people that aren't going to do it to 100% right, you're still going to be driving a car that's from the 70s or the 80s. So, like Alan was saying, ABS and you're not going to steering
have
boxes and everything, they're all going to change.
Well,
so the driving dynamics of a 30-year-old car into a car that with that motor today, it outweighs it sometimes.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at Sun Kang, also known as Han from the Fast and Furious series.
Yeah.
He's big on doing that, and he put a NA RB26 in a 240.
Yeah.
And he rebuilt that. That thing's sick. And then now he's done a Ford Maverick with a 2.3 EcoBoost out of a pretty much as a similar engine to an RS and Mustang EcoBoost. So, and they've obviously done all handling upgrades and everything. Look, it's not going to have ABS, and it's not going to have all the other safety features, but at least it's going to go and it's going to stop reliably.
100%.
And you're getting a car that looks like nothing else.
What would be your ultimate? Well, this is a question for the lads, I guess. What would be your ultimate swap, retro mod?
Well, gee, that's a good question. Well, we can put this out to the people. 0447777 That is 0447777 Send us a text. What would be your ultimate kind of retro mod? Well, that's what they're called. They're called retro mods. So
for me, I reckon like a Datsun 1600 with a SR20 turbo.
That'd be cool. That'd be. That's been done a few times.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Maybe even the 510, because the 510 never came to Australia. It's a two-door from the States. But
well, we got it as it got called something else over here, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't called the. I'm pretty sure it was called the 510.
510.
We'll check this up because I'm pretty sure on car sales there was one that went on car sales and it was
the one on gas?
No. It was an old lady's car and it was like an automatic one and everything. And a guy bought it because he knew what it was and it was like there was none of them left because they were pretty much rotted away.
Yeah.
So and he went on that stuff. But yeah, what about you, Ads?
I'd like to put something ridiculous in the Charger.
Barra.
Nah.
Hashtag Barra the world.
That 2JZ, something ridiculous would be awesome. I mean, even a massive massive Hemi.
Yeah, that'd be
Would
sick.
be mad.
So 6.4 out of like an SRT or something.
Yeah, something like
that'd be
that.
dope.
Something ridiculous or something turbo. I mean, why not? I've always wanted a turbo, so why not mix the two worlds together?
Exactly right. Spool and a V8, nothing wrong with that.
That's it.
What about you, Alan?
Originally, I would have gone with just a Mustang, just an old Mustang that's got the nice new kit in it. But a Dodge Charger Daytona,
Yes.
that with like I guess a newer engine, and newer
Brakes.
suspension, brakes, everything else, that would be pretty damn cool. Just you'd be such a G, just rocking that.
Just good luck parking that thing.
It's parking 4 spots.
They're about like 30 cars wide and like 50 cars long.
Yeah.
How many cars high?
They are them. Look, for me, I don't know. You know, there's so many, like, I think of, like, you know, for example, me doing that Merc, doing the Barrett to the Merc, but then I'd also like to,
2J?
like, 2J, yeah, like, that's another one.
Even 1J.
Even a 1J would be cool. Like, you know, obviously 2J Crusaders are really in at the moment. Like, everyone's kind of doing those. But, I don't know, man, like, one that I'd really like to do, you know, as crazy as it sounds, I'd love to put an LFA engine into something, because just the way it sounds is incredible.
Into a Reliant Robin.
Into a Reliant, there you go.
How would you get that LFA engine though?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. Good luck finding one, because they're all you know. There's only I think 500 of them ish made, so I'm never going to get one. But that'd be like a dream. Putting an LFA engine into, say, like, you know, yeah,
I was going to say, next best thing is a GTR R35 engine.
yeah, definitely.
You could probably shoehorn that into something.
Even like an NAV8, like, for example, not an LS, because everyone does LS swaps, but like a Coyote V8.
Yeah.
In a Mustang, I could put that in an older Mustang. You know, find an old, you know, like an old fastback that's got, you know, needs an engine. Drop one of those in, update the suspension and brakes. And for those old Mustangs, and even, you know, for a lot of old muscle cars, you can buy everything for them, like everything to
Modernize them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New brakes, new suspension, stuff that actually make them go around corners. You know, steering boxes.
Like Mazda
steering-
got the pack performance.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like, for example, like the Charger, for example, you can chuck in rack and pinion, power steering, massive brakes,
Yeah.
sway bars, chassis linkages. Like,
Then
you
again,
can
your
try-
car
you
is
can
based
try-
on a Bathurst.
Well, they were built to race at Bathurst, but then again, there are a lot more things you can improve on. Like, there are 40 years between Bathurst and now, like when they were racing.
100%.
So there's a lot more that can be done. But
I mean-
back then, they probably drove them so hard that the chassis were twisted by the end of the race.
Well, I mean, look, in comparison, they did, on Top Gear Australia, they did the fastest production car of its time, four-door production car, which was the GTHO, Phase 3. And they put it on the track, and then it was beaten by a standard XT Falcon.
Yeah,
So that shows how far we've come in modern times. So, you know, having said that, what's better than a modified old car that's, you know, it looks as it did, but with, like, actually can go around corners and you know, and be reliable. I mean, I'd love that. I don't know about you guys. Like, I'd totally have like an old you know, Charger, an old Mustang that's got one. Adam, it's got to have air conditioning. I'm sorry. 2
speed holes.
speedos. Felony hole. You know, we put your anyway. We'll skip over that. Yeah. So new suspension and brakes, like basically make it go around a corner and be reliable as anything. So when I go to start the car, I'm not having there, like, you know, warming it up and you know, adjusting like, don't get me wrong, adjusting, you know, carbs and everything. It's fun. You know, I get the idea of it. You know, it's part of, you know, classic car motoring. But if you want something that you're going to just go in and enjoy, thrash the nuts off, and it's going to come back and say, is that it? Is that all you've got? Give me more. By all means.
Do you know what I think is cool? And it's a weird part of motoring. It's do you know on Top Gear they had those old they're old cars that are open tops, and they're like built on plane motors and stuff.
Like roadsters.
They're like roadsters, but they're like old school. I think I had them on Top Gear, like a race with 3 of them.
What do you mean?
They like one of them used like a plane motor, a massive V12. From a
Like the
plane.
really old cars.
Yeah, like
like
1930s
yeah.
based.
Well,
I reckon they're pretty cool.
they are pretty cool. They put spastic stuff in those cars. Like they put V16s and just
stupid
anything,
stuff.
everything. Yeah, because they're all kind of coach built cars. Like they were just like, you know, there's an engine, make the body around it.
Yeah, and then they raced them too. That was ideal.
Like that. And you got to remember back then, racing was just like you had to be insane to do it. Today you still got to be insane to do it, but back then you'd have to just have some loose screws because how they race some of those cars. Like even like even going back, like say back in the, let's say Aussie racing's heyday,
The 70s, let's say.
those cars must have been pigs to drive. Like in comparison to today, they had, again, on Top Gear, they were driving a GDHO, and he got around one lap and he was sideways and spinning around, and he's like sliding all over the seat. Like they had no lateral support, they had nothing. The brakes would cook after like 2 seconds.
Did they have power brakes in the GTHOs?
I think they did, yeah.
They did. Power steering?
That's a good.
I can't remember that.
That was
one.
probably an option, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely VF Commodore with an XR6 turbo engine. That's from Paul. Yes, Paul. That'd make the purists want to like pull their eyes out. But for me, I'd actually like to see it because it'd be a VF Commodore with a decent engine. Look, I love LS motors and all that, so don't get me wrong. But that'd be a cool swap. I'd definitely like to see that. Yeah, but definitely back on that topic. For purists, I guess they'd kind of hate to see that you like making an old car, but don't know if there was like a pristine car that's like all numbers matching and everything that's perfect. Yeah, it's a museum piece. But I'd probably do it. There'd be a couple of exceptions to me doing it. One, to a car that's, for example, it's a bit how you're going, needs a bit of work, engine numbers not matching.
Like a junker, basically.
Pretty
like
much.
The Roxland, you know what I mean?
But it's got solid foundations, and then from there I'll be like, okay, well, this car's kind of got nothing to lose. I may as well just go ham on it and go do something crazy.
And I think the part where you deserve to get beat up is if you take like an F40 and then you're like, oh, I'm going to put a barrel in there.
Yeah. No, that's not going to happen.
That's the situation where it's like...
Line, man. That's
Sorry?
way over the line.
Exactly, like that person deserves to get hurt. Not that we're,
Not that we're encouraging violence
we're
towards
not encouraging violence at all.
I am. Because you just don't do that. Like,
well, that's the line. Finding those cars that you just don't touch.
but they're exotics.
Yeah.
They're not just classics. They're exotic. That's like, yeah. You can't just do it to one of them.
Yeah. So we'll get to that in a sec. But yeah. So I guess there are certain cars that are just kind of untouchables that you don't do that to. But having said that, there are some cars that for example, like you get like an old like for example, an old Commodore or even an old Toyota Crown, which would be dope. It's got nothing going for it. They're pretty much got no historical value. No one cares about it. Drop something crazy and they make it go around a corner. That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. And it's something you don't see every day. So I'm definitely all for crazy stuff like that, which is
100%.
I went to high school with a guy, and his dad had his old man had a I think it was an LC Toronto, and his dad dropped the biggest engine he could find. Like this thing was massive. Don't quote me on the cubic inches, and some big blocks. It's just some crazy thing with a big blow on the top.
Was this gentleman's name Peter by any chance?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, because then I would have had trouble believing the story.
We all know. Yeah.
That's an inside joke for you at home. But his dad took it out the first day he took it out. The first kind of like jam on the pedal, he kinked the chassis. So yeah, I guess you're gonna have to do, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to do it all properly.
Did you walk it off the line by any chance? No? Okay. That's fine.
You walked it off the line, and what else did you do?
No, we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. We don't want to get done for
Harassment.
Adam's like dying in the studio. But look, I guess kind of where that idea of crazy stuff came from, like, it's been happening for years, but one guy in particular they did, I think it was Tokyo Drift, the Fast and Furious, they put them some RB26 in there.
26,
yeah. Mustang, yeah. So that was the first one I was like, oh, hang on, that's a bit strange, but at the same time kind of cool. I think Paul sent us another message. You already had
So Paul sent us another message in regards to the Commodore swap with an XR6 turbo engine. He goes, Ford has much better engines, 6s and 8s.
There you go.
And recently he's just sent old cars have flopping wipers at speeds over 200 kilometers an hour, which Paul finds annoying.
We first have to reach the speed, and then we can talk about it.
Hey, man, his RX-7 went way over 200. Then again, I guess another thing that Paul has influenced me, he goes, older cars are much better, and this is why he said you don't really need aircon. is you could put the window down, go 200 k's, and you don't get the
that helicopter noise. That you
Yeah.
get, yeah.
the boxy shape and stuff helps, I guess.
I'd be a bit concerned about even a speck of dust going into my eye at 200 kilometres an hour.
Oh, my eye! and you start rolling in.
But to each their own, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm an air conditioning man.
100%.
Hey, just some trivia. I was just thinking about it while you guys were talking. On the Fast and the Furious swap into the Mustang, the RB, just from somewhere in my head, I could have sworn the engine originally came from a Sylvia. Am I right?
So
it was already shoehorned an RB into a Sylvia, and then it went into a Mustang.
Yeah, so that engine got around. It was a bit of a, hey, it was a bit how you going.
Had some fun times, I guess.
Mate, it was, it obviously would have started life in a, it could have been a Stagia, but it could have been a GDR, and then it's made its way into Mona Lisa, as they call the S15, and into the Mustang. Which I thought was pretty cool, but I remember reading some comments about that, and they're saying, "Oh, how dare they put that Japanese crap in a muscle car?" But I was like, "Hell yeah! Why the hell not?" That's.
In the end, that Mustang ended up looking sick.
Yeah,
Even if it didn't have the RB in it, it would still be a sick looking car.
It's just sick. It's a good idea too. Having his dad works at an Air Force base in Japan, an American Air Force base, and his Mustang.
Just somehow it gets there.
Hey, but look, if I had to pick of any of the cars, the Chevy Nova at the start.
Yeah, the Chevy Nova.
That is the toughest looking thing.
That was tough.
It's rough, but mate, that was tough.
He was racing. It was a Viper with
a lemon
with a boiler exhaust, and my God, you could read the what's it called, the brochure. Yeah. America. That's the American cars for you. Hi to our American listeners at home, because we do get subbed and they do love our show. But that'd be a cool introduction into another topic, because we could talk about all the cars they've done on those shows.
Well, endless amounts.
I just watched the video recently of the cars that are being made, the Mighty Camos video, about the cars in the upcoming film. And there's some pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one.
They're actually getting BRZs off the line, doing a few tweaks, taking ABS out, and a few other things, putting in hydraulic handbrakes and bracing and whatnot.
Yeah.
And those things...
Lock diffs,
new lock diff.
Well, yeah, you kick it sideways pretty
Those
easy.
things are sliding like no tomorrow.
I reckon they didn't touch the engines, though.
Yeah, they just
the
trimmed
engine, they just gave them a flash, and that's it. Off you go.
There you go. I mean, they're pretty gutless from factory.
Maybe an exhaust and intake.
I don't know.
Just to open it up a little bit.
Too much, but hey, they do go sideways pretty easily, though.
Well, yeah.
Pizza cutters, man.
Pizza cutters, man. That's exactly. They got Prius tires. They just do not grip in any way, shape, or form. Another car they did. Remember the Escort they had a few years back?
100%.
That's one of my favourite cars they did. For the actual racing sequences, I'm pretty sure they put an SR20 in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course they did.
Yeah, so because
Extra bit.
extra. I mean, they could have put a Cosworth, a Cosworth YB motor in there.
Yeah, but it's just much easier to slap an SR20 and then grab another one.
They're everywhere, exactly.
So.
You pop one, you chuck another one in there, and
Exactly.
and it'll do you a world of good.
It'll probably go harder too, but anyway.
Yeah, but apparently a lot of those cars in the Fast and Furious series, they're all running LS motors.
Yeah, it's like, why do you think all the engines are missing at the wreckers? No, I won't mention which one, but why do you reckon all the engines are missing at the wreckers and from the Commodores? Because they're a dime a dozen, man.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So,
And people are popping them left, front, and centre.
Skids, man, skids, bro, skids. Look, we're going to go to another break. We're going to go to a song by Empire of the Sun. This is Empire of the Sun with Friends. You're back on CarTorque with Matty J. This is 98.9 Northwest FM. Still in the studio with James, the Grasping Grasso, and Alan. Tools. Now, we're going to move on to the topic of tools, because every man in his bum bag needs a tool, and needs some sort of tool to get the job done. So, Alan, you want to talk about tools tonight?
Yeah, especially with the Merc happening and how you want to fix some things, change some things. Definitely going to need some tools. And the reason why I bring it up is because recently, I guess, I got looking into tools, even though I don't need a large variety of them. Just like varying companies and pricing differences.
Yeah.
And just today I was watching a YouTube video by a gentleman named Eric, the car guy. He recently got a new toolbox. And
Was it pre-filled, or was it...
Empty, completely empty. And it was made by a company that makes Snap. You know, may have that in their name or not.
And it's on to use them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And he got a really good deal on it. At least he claimed he did.
Yep.
He got it for half the retail price. The retail price for that toolbox was $13,000 US.
What?
An empty
Full
box.
box. What, like a box, or is it like a roller chest?
It's a roller chest, but it's very large. But still, $13,000 for an empty box.
So if you got it for half price, those are the ones that come off the back of the truck, you know, the ones that
Yeah. That my cousin Molly knows.
Yeah, Molly, that knows Abdul.
I'm not making any allegations. He claims to have obtained it legally, and I believe it.
Okay.
But I guess when I was working on my car, I needed a few things like extensions and whatnot. I currently just have a very basic toolkit that I got a few years ago.
Yep.
It wouldn't have cost me more than $80. It may be of a very cheap and super variety, but it does the job. And the main thing is, especially if you do look online, there's a lot of contentious individuals that will scream at you for getting cheap tools and are strong believers of the "you get what you pay for," I guess, motto. And I just want to, I guess you work in an auto parts store. What your opinion is?
Well, look. First of all, 13 grand for an empty chest is kind of ridiculous. Like, it's also made of gold. I know some chests are really good. Like, if you go to your local, let's say, Auto Cheap Super, you might be able to, you can get a roller chest that will do the same job, the same things, and you get a warranty as well. Same thing. But I guess you're paying for it in minor aspects. But you know what? Having said that, some of those tool chests are really, really good, and I can justify some money, but not 13 grand or less. My next point is, if you get some tools, you don't need to have every tool under the sun. The way I do things is I've got like a good socket set, a good set of screwdrivers, Torque set, Allen keys, jack stands and a jack, torque wrench. I've got a torque wrench just to make sure things are done right. And you can pretty much get away with that like that. You're obviously going to need a few little extra bits here and there.
Don't forget someone that me and James know, who will hold the name. He goes that the best tool that a mechanic can have is a mallet. Well, a mallet or a hammer or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to need one of those.
And the grinder. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can see the mallet, but the grinder, you can maybe make do without if you know what you're doing. But then again, sometimes you might need a grinder, I guess.
Well, definitely. Like people use die grinders and stuff to cut out old bushings and stuff. So if you can't get them out when you can't put a press to it. So I know my mechanic uses those. But for like a basic tool set to get you around things, that's probably I'd say what you need. And you would, honestly, all in, including toolbox, if you get like really, really good stuff and you're under like $4,000, you've done pretty well. 4 or 5 grand. So I'd say that'd be your best bet, as long as you get just something decent.
And I guess with that point I want to bring in is, where do you kind of set your budget limit? If you're a professional mechanic, then I think the sky's the limit for you. Well, if you're going to make your livelihood from this, especially for a very long time, I can really see you shelling out for those expensive tools, especially the ones with lifetime warranties, getting that, I guess, for yourself.
Yeah.
Because they're going to make you the money. They're going to, I guess, get you paid. And if they're breaking on you, you can't do the work. You're running back and forth between, I guess, stores, getting exchanges.
Well, having said that, Alan, there's that one brand you were talking about before.
They bring a tool truck.
They bring a tool truck.
An air-conditioned tool truck.
Exactly right. And they give you, believe it or not, a lifetime warranty, no matter what.
Is it a lifetime of the tool or is it a lifetime of you?
Lifetime of the tool. I know this for a fact because my mechanic, he broke a tool, and they come around once or twice a week. He walks in, he's like, "Yep, this." He's like, "Oh, thank you, mate," and gave him a new one, and said, "See you later."
Same with Sid Chrome, though. I mean, I broke a Sid Chrome socket, and I took it to any hardware joint, and they said, "Yeah, we'll swap it over for you."
Yep.
I forgot, new socket. So
if you buy stuff with a lifetime warranty like that, like with a reputable name, don't buy your cheap stuff, because it doesn't last. It might work here and there. Like, I mean, if you're doing light duties, but if you're actually going to get your hands dirty, I'd recommend getting a decent set.
Pro Tool.
Yeah, like they come with lifetime warranties. The ones from your local cheap super auto.
Well, look, no. In all honesty, though, you do get what you pay for. I mean, I remember I changed my exhaust. Like, let's say a few years ago, I put the aftermarket like I went back on, and using a crappy shifter, just trying to do it up, and this thing would just keep unadjusting. Like, are you serious? I got pissed off, threw it. I went and got a better one. I don't know what brand it was, whatever it was. I'm using my dad's tools, by the way, so I didn't really have a choice. But I got a better one, and mate, just perfect. It just did what I wanted to do, and that was it. Done. Job was done. And less frustration, less mucking around when you got proper tools.
And at the end of the day, having the proper tools to do things gets the job done right.
And more efficiently, faster.
Exactly right.
No skin off your knuckles.
Exactly right. Look, I'm not saying to you to
Ratchet spanners are a massive help.
Oh yeah. A good set of ratchet spanners could go a long way as well. Look, I'm not saying go out and buy the most expensive stuff you can. Buy what you can afford, but buy something decent. And it'll you buy good tools, and the tools will look after you regardless. Back on engine swaps, we got another message from Paul. James was saying about Celica's, old Celica's. I'm a big fan of them.
So Paul sent in another message, and I think Paul's pretty good at this. He said he saw an old Celica, like from the 70s.
Like a TA22 or something?
Like a TA22 of those sorts of motoring. And it had a 2-litre 6-cylinder turbo, a Toyota motor, doing 10s.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
I saw one of those with a 4-litre V8 out of an LS400. The one used ZFM, which is a fantastic engine, with twin turbos.
Very good base.
Very good. They're strong as. Like, they were completely over-engineered. Twin turbo. And he was pulling like 9-second quarter passes. And this thing was insane. But anyway, it is. Well, we've got to get to the quiz because we're running out of time tonight. So, Mr. Grasso, are you ready for this?
I didn't even know it was me this time. Otherwise, I would have practiced or looked over and seen the answers.
Is that mate? You going to steal my phone off me? Good luck.
Yeah, I will. Smack in the head.
This is the CarTorque. Question 1. The reborn Monaro of the 2000s was used as the Pontiac GTO in the States. Besides the body differences, what was the one major change that they made?
Okay, so besides the body difference...
and the left-hand side, there was one other difference. There's one major difference.
What, specifically that it's left-hand drive, not right-hand drive?
No, just one major difference.
One major difference.
I'll give you a hint. I'm pretty sure it was made to do with the American safety laws.
Didn't have ABS?
You can pass or come back to me. That is...
Let's pass and come back to... I don't know.
Question 2. The BA Mark II Series Falcons onwards, with the 6-speed manual gearbox, up until FG, had what famous gearbox?
ZF. No, sorry, what did you say? Manual?
Manual gearbox, yes.
Manual gearbox. The get trains, aren't they?
It's T56.
I didn't know.
Question 3. The Lexus GSF uses an engine with how many cylinders?
Say that one again, sorry, the question again.
The Lexus GSF
GSF
uses an engine with how many cylinders?
8.
Peters, Question 4. Lexus just released their new long GT car. What is it called?
Lexus released their
new GT car, their really long base GT car.
any type of hints.
It's got L in the name. It's a 5-litre V8, so it is...
That one I just...
I don't know. LC 500.
That was hard.
That one was a hard one. Question 5. True or false? There was a GTR version of the R31 Skyline.
The GTR version of the R31. It wasn't a GTR.
That's correct. It wasn't. It was.
What was the
GTSR.
HR31.
HR31. Question 6. The next generation of Porsche mid-engined cars are set to have how many cylinders?
The new generation Porsches.
Yeah. 4? They are. That's correct.
4-pot turbos, right?
That's correct. Question 7. In what year did Ford finally get their ass into gear and put the diesel in the territory?
Does it have to be spot on?
I'll let you. It's
I know, look, okay, check this out. I know it was the second series territories. It wasn't the first BA style. I don't know what they're called, but
SY series. Yeah.
what's that? No.
Okay,
hang
I'll
on,
give you a hint.
I'm just trying to pick it up.
Would you like a hint?
Limit of territory. Yeah, here
It was
goes.
over 2010.
12. That is over 10, right?
11.
Oh, come on. Okay.
You know what? That was a hard one.
Was that related to that ad campaign they had where the lady would visit all her friends on Facebook or something?
Yeah, because she could, yeah. Because she's like, I can get that with my decent territory because I can get 1,000 Ks out of a tank.
That's what Facebook's for.
That's what Facebook's for. You just message, hey, yeah. Question 8. True or false? The latest E63 AMG is available in all-wheel drive.
63. Yes.
It is, but not in the Australian market.
Yeah. I think I have heard of that. That's pretty cool.
It's like super quick to move. Right, Mercedes, if you're listening, I'm a Merc owner now, and please bring that to Australia. That is what.
Please bring back the 6.3.
Yeah.
You got the C63 and all-wheel drive
It'd be crazy.
But the UK misses out on the old
They do as well. It's just the
It's
European.
related to the steering changeover.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I think it's because
I don't care, just bring it here as a left-hand drive. I'll still take it. Question 9. The E46 M3 came out with the SCSL version. What transmission was it available with? So one transmission only.
what do you call it? DSG?
It's like a DSG, but it's not. I'll give you another hint. It's a single clutch, and the BMW had a name for it.
Single clutch. Sequential? No. Sequential. Yeah, I'm like, give me half a point.
I'll give you half one. It's an SMG. So
SMG, it's like
yeah.
a DSG.
Yeah.
Really, but it's a single, I guess. Yeah, okay.
I'm guessing it had 7 gears, is that correct?
I'm not too sure. I think that's 6. I'm not too sure.
What's reverse?
What's reverse? 7, yeah. That's a question next week on the quiz. I want to find the answer. I'll give you half a point for that answer. Question 10. Group B was associated with what type of motorsport? Group B. Back in the 80s. Jake's like fucking a demonstration.
What was that?
You know what he's doing? The Mr. Bean when he's trying to say a
It's like
plane.
drifting. I don't know what that is.
Sorry? Group B was associated with what type of motorsport?
A rally?
Yeah, it was right.
Okay.
Question 1, the one you passed on. The reborn Monaro of the 2000s was used as the Pontiac GTO in the States. It had, besides the body changes and left-hand drive, what major change?
Exhaust?
It was a fuel tank.
Really?
They put it behind the seat.
What's that again? What was the difference?
The fuel tank, they put it behind the seat.
In the boot.
In the boot, yeah.
Serious?
So they got like no boot space in the American version.
What was the purpose of that?
For getting rear-ended. Americans have got a
Trunk.
Americans got an odd sense.
So where's the fuel tank in every other stupid car?
underneath the car. So the Americans, for their laws, they got some odd differences. Like back in the day, they had like the 5 mile an hour like bumpers.
How many Monaros that we have in Australia that have not had like massive dramas because of the tank being in the back?
It's just law there, law. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 out of 10.
It's going down every time, I
Mate,
think.
I don't know, mate. You got to get back into practice, mate.
No, that's crap. You're changing changing that stuff.
I'm just going to say, there was help.
There was
help.
So what transmission was in the thing? The Ford?
It's T56, which is a pretty famous manual. It's been around.
Is it a Tremec?
Tremec box. Tremec T56, yeah. Strong box is known for taking a lot of power.
I thought.
Which ones had the get trag?
They didn't have the Getrag.
None of them did.
They had the ZFs.
The Supers, sorry, that's what I'm thinking. The Supers had the get trag.
They had the 6-speed Getrag in the later model series.
It's worth like 20 grand, bro.
121s. Yeah.
161.
No, 6-1. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
V161. Those things are worth like 6 grand.
Yeah, they're very expensive.
They're ridiculously expensive, but you can still put the 5-speed. The 5-speeds are pretty good apparently, but not obviously as good as the 6-speed manual. Look, we're going to go to our final song of the night. We're going to go to a song by another Aussie artist called Starley. and someone's called calling me. You're back on CarTorque with Matty J. We are almost out of time. It's been another quality Tuesday night, hasn't it, boys?
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right, yeah, not bad, not bad. Give us a quick update on the Charger. How's it going? All good?
Mate, it's just sitting there. I've taken it out a few times. Took it out with my brother the other weekend. We're doing the sauce at home with my parents, and I said, we're here. It's a good day. Take the car out. I've got mine here. He goes, yeah, all right, we'll take it out. So he went down, mate. The smoke that it was blowing. It was his. It was blowing the cobwebs out, So,
What sort of smoke?
it was just a bit of smoke, just a bit of carbon buildup. It was nothing, but it's.
Could have said rub on me.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Otherwise, nothing yet. I'm waiting for the colder months to kick in before I do some more stuff to it. That way, at least I can just take it off the road and not care about it, really.
Yeah. How's your new vehicle after you got to put in?
Mate, doesn't bag them up.
Yeah.
But even accidentally, like seriously, just oops, and both wheels.
Yeah,
It's grouse. No, it's made. Look, it hasn't made a mass difference, but it is better with.
Have you felt
with
a difference in acceleration, top speed, or anything like that?
Nah, I mean, not a mass difference. It's not like I was going on massive diff gears, so it hasn't made a huge difference. Because 292s to 232s.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, 23. Sorry, what was it? 323s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a massive jump. So, but yeah, otherwise, that's about it so far, man. Oh, actually, did I tell you I sold two of the Webbers?
Oh, you're selling them?
I've sold two Webbers because they were the one Weber. So there's a set of three, right? Because they need triples. One Weber is sweet. It's it's one of the newer ones. It's got 4 progression holes in the actual Weber carby. The other two had 3 progression holes, and those two were made more for 4-cylinder cars.
Oh, right, okay.
So when I bought the car, the guy gave me.
He gave you the triple Webbers?
He gave me all 3 Webbers, right? He gave me the manifold for the triples, everything, right? But he also gave me a linkage kit, a manifold, and all these other little things for an Escort or Cortina 2-litre. And
The Pinto engine.
yeah, exactly. And, after looking around, I was checking the jetting and stuff, and I'm like, hang on, this hasn't got the same progression holes as the other one. And I put 2 and 2 together. These 2 Webbers on their own are perfect for an Escort or a Cortina or something. So I bundled them up, and I sold them.
So you're going to find 2 more Webbers?
So, yeah, I'm just going to buy 2 brand new Webbers from Weber Performance. So, put it that way. At least I've got 3 brand new Webbers, all identical.
Yep.
I'm just going to buy a linkage kit, and, that's about it.
You're ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, seeing as we're almost out of time, well, we are out of time, but quick car update, James. How's your car going?
Car's going well. Coilovers are being made. Waiting on the guys to do some final adjustments before they send them over. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I was thinking of doing some engine upgrades in the future, but not sure yet.
Okay.
Just a bit more research, I guess.
And Alan with the Rex?
Yeah, it's going strong. Nothing's changed very much.
Yeah.
232,000, I think.
Hey, the Ash is catching up.
Still
When are you
got
going to
the
get
laser,
exhaust on?
I don't know. I started a job at uni, so whenever I get the money together.
Sick. Yeah, exhaust on the Rex. Whew, just make it 100%.
Make it neat.
Pop, 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 pop.
As for me, stay tuned for next week because we're going to first week with the Merc, which will be really exciting times. Look, we're out of time, but stay tuned because we've got some more shows coming on after on 98.9 Northwest FM. Keep it locked here on the station. And thanks for the dose. Thursday night's Thursday Waffle with Dr. Rock and Fitzy and his Monday show for your pleasure. Also, keep it locked on Tuesday night. Tuesday night is where it's at, 6 p.m. with Nervous Movies with James. And obviously May 7 with CarTorque with Matty J. So this has been CarTorque with Matty J. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you same time next week. Take it easy.